This video is my attempt of a Foucauldian discourse analysis, or cultural discursive analysis, of the Taiwanese film A Son. Discursive analysis is the relationship between language, or discourse, and subjectivity, people's interpretation of experiences. It is useful to see how language and its meaning, or interpreted meaning, impact an individual's psyche and society. I will use 6 steps for my discursive analysis. I will also describe and analyze the film's complementary aesthetics. The 2019 film A Son, or 阳光普照, won Best Feature Film and Best Director at the 56th Golden Horse Awards. It is also shortlisted for Best International Feature Film at the 93rd Academy Awards occurring later this year. I personally was surprised that I enjoyed the movie even though it is dark and tragic, but the cinematography is beautiful and the music has been stuck in my head. I also love seeing imagery of Taiwan and hearing its sounds, like the distinctive doorbell. Its Chinese name, 阳光普照, is a Chinese idiom, or 成语, which means sunlight shining over all things. The homophone in English of a son and a son also reinforce the story's theme. I will be looking at 2 scenes in particular to contrast the experience of personal agency between the son and the father. This film is about a family of 4 from Taipei. The father is a driving instructor, the mother is a salon owner, and the older son, Ahao, is studying for medical school, and the younger son, Ah is sentenced to juvenile detention at the beginning of the film, setting the plot in motion. The father refuses to acknowledge Aha's existence after the sentencing and focuses on Ahao's studies. All of a sudden, and here is a spoiler alert, the parents receive word that Ahao's body is found on the ground of their apartment complex. After the funeral ceremony, Ahao's girlfriend shows Ahao's mother the message he sent the day before his death. This is the first scene I will analyze. A few years later, after Aha is released from detention, he works in a car wash and convenience store, trying to get his life on track to support his wife and young son. His accomplice from the crime, Radish, finds Aha, pesters him, and coerces him to commit other crimes. Suddenly, Radish disappears, and Aha is told by other gangsters that Radish won't be able to bother him anymore, as he was found dead a few weeks prior. The penultimate scene is the second scene I will analyze, when the mother and father are on the hike. Those are 2 very powerful scenes. The character's language plus the cinematic visual choices cooperate to evoke strong feelings in the mother, and by extension us, the audience. Now we can compare and contrast the scenes using discursive analysis. The first step is discursive construction, and although there are many that can be discussed, I chose personal agency as the object of our analysis. Here are examples of the script which has direct or indirect references to this construction. The next step is to identify the discourses. Both Ahao and his father felt futility, which ultimately led to their drastic choices. Ahao struggled with mental health and could not find his way out of the son, or pressure. The father didn't know how to help his younger son. The discourse is contrasted between Ahao's role as a son and his father's role as a parent. Ahao felt like he couldn't fulfill his duty as the archetype of the good older son. The father's indirect love which needed to be earned or could be lost, had a devastating impact on his children. Regarding accountability, for Ahao, he blamed himself for not knowing how to hide from the son, external pressure, like everyone else, and he did so without jealousy, but with weariness and loneliness. On the contrary, the father acknowledges the limits and constraints of his education, but he rejects the blame the mother puts on him, with justification that he didn't think and just reacted in order to help save his son. Both the son and the father dealt with the discomfort from their futility by making life and death decisions. Ahao positioned himself as the failed son, not living up to and buckling under the expectations and obligations. He also dehumanizes himself, saying that even animals are better than him because they can find the shade. At first, the mother positions the father as one who created pressure, exemplified through the phrase, "Seize the day, decide your path." She positions him as weak and not fulfilling his fatherly role to help his son. At this point, the father gives his confession, which changes his position to change agent and vigilante. This is conflicting because he is a hero for his son, but he's also a villain for the murder he committed. The father was once disgusted by the crime of his son, but now he is the one worthy of disgust. The action implication for Ahao is to find the shade. However, he says he cannot, which leads him to create his own shade. He maintains his loneliness, does not ask others for help, and sees death as his only option. His father had to grapple with the moral conflict between protecting his child and killing another. He is now a criminal, but now he and the mother, knowledgeable of his crime, have to choose whether to keep a secret or dismantle their family even more. The feelings after Ahao's death are very sad, and his message, which seemed to be a cry for help masked in resignation, did not stop his ending. His self-blame and loneliness underlined poor mental health, but no one really noticed his struggle or reached out. This is a plea to be aware of signs of depression in loved ones. I can't tell whether the father felt guilt after the murder or pride that he found a way to help his son. He killed another man's son to save his own, but he also changed, and now he finds his younger son worthy of saving, one with potential. I believe the mother would feel guilty, and we as the audience can feel guilt too, from the unawareness of the son's and husband's problems until it was too late. Perhaps her obliviousness was a coping mechanism, but she couldn't stop the sun or the rain. Both the son and the father found their personal agency, but it came in gruesome and drastic ways. The film's aesthetic complement for this discourse reinforced the message of futility with the imagery of the sun. Ahao's message imagery shows emptiness, loneliness, and relentlessness. His walk in the sun alone contrasts the animals in the shade in groups. The everlasting pressure and heavy light follow him, and he separates himself from others, believing that everyone else can find the shade and he has no hope. In the father's confession scene, his back is to the sun, with the pressure of truth on him, and that juxtaposes with the mother facing the sun, hearing the light of truth, even though it has a dark message. And the parents are in nature, and I interpret the son in nature to show the self-made pressure after the father chooses to murder Radish, whereas Ahao's son in the city shows a man-made or social pressure that he was not able to withstand. I hope my interpretation has appropriately represented the heavy themes, the art of this film, and its cultural context. The film hung heavily on my heart when I watched it for the first time, and because I felt connection with the mother and I couldn't imagine what I would do in her situation, it really hit hard. I'm grateful to have taken the time to rewatch these poignant scenes with analytical eyes, and I hope you enjoyed and responded yourself. Thank you for watching.